Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to DRONA, a mentorship session being conducted by this year toppers. So, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೀವು ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಮೇಜರ್ಲಿ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಹರ್ಡಲ್. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ IAS, IPS ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡಿಸೈರ್ಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಶೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಈಚ್ GS paper and also resource management, time management, answer writing approach, and a strategy for essay and ethics paper. So in the first session, they are going to discuss about GS-1 paper mains preparation strategy. So in this session, I'm going to welcome Ms. Chinmaiee ma'am and Mr. Sandeep Badad. So they are going to share their valuable learnings and also how they have navigated through mains paper and scored top marks in all the GS paper. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am.
Morning, everyone. Okay, we have started answer writing. Why haven't the others answer writing? What do you think we're going to do today? We're not going to teach you anything from GS1. We're going to teach you how to learn for GS1, right? All of you are going to note down, no? Starting with the idea is to first understand the syllabus. So Sandeep sir and I together will be helping you analyze the syllabus. Your notes should not be something that the coaching institute. So your notes or your study material is your concrete for GS1 should be prepared from your syllabus, looking at the syllabus, right? So this is demand-based supply. You're seeing the demand and then preparing your notes. That's your supply, right? For anything, your supply should be based on the demand. Look at the demand and then prepare the supply, right? So sir will be majorly handling history, post-independence, history and art and culture, and I'll be taking care of geography, society, right?
Yeah. So everyone started their preparation after looking at the syllabus. All right. So, but what we are going to tell now is how to look at it, because you saw it as some topics, right? But we should see as the themes. So in Indian art and culture part, we have few themes which are recurrent, and most likely the question will be from same theme. There are, if we count, there are 7 themes, I suppose. Yes. One is our glory in ancient culture. Please note.
Will not know now, but when you're actually preparing or when the mains is on your head in 75 days.
Because when the syllabus keyword mentions salient aspects of art forms, literature and architecture, what to do in this art forms, in this literature, in this architecture, right? So this is abstract. You need to find the specific things that you should focus on. So that is what I'll be trying to tell. Okay. So the first thing will be the glory of ancient past. So this is one theme. You might have seen the questions coming from the achievements of Gupta period, the achievements of Cholas, the achievements of Vijayanagara Empire, or etc. etc. So that is one theme. Okay, and the second most important theme is our ancient society and science and technology. You might have seen questions coming from the Vedic period and Indus Valley civilization. So that is another theme. The third theme is directly pertaining to the architecture. And which part of architecture? Temple architecture. Because in India, maths, philosophy, physics, and art, everything culminated in the temple architecture. Okay, so that becomes a crucial theme in the architecture part. Apart from that, we have architecture in medieval period, which sometimes is syncretic. So only two themes in architecture. Okay, and
So can I add one point?
yeah,
Architecture
if
part?
I missed something.
So the temple architecture, you concentrate primarily on the evolution, how temple architecture has evolved over the ages, right? So evolution is another major sub-theme under temple architecture. Yes.
Yes, ma'am rightly pointed that because temple started from flat roofs to the shikara types. Okay, and we have three types there. So coming to literature, which part? Again, go to our ancient past. So the first thing is Pali, Prakrit, and then Sanskrit. Because the question has not come contribution of Sanskrit literature, you can always expect a question from there any year. Okay, and we have contributions from other prominent literatures that have been there. But most likely, these are the three things which will be focused on. And apart from that, the area will be about specifically about contributions from particular dynasty or contribution during particular period, because there are literary contributions during Gupta period which are very prominent, and one question on Krishna Devaraya, and there are prominent literary contributions during Bhakti and Sufi movements. Okay, don't just simply take them as some revolutionary ideas or movements. It also has a literature angle. Okay, so that is one theme. And coming to art forms, UPSC doesn't tend to ask questions here. But since it is in the syllabus, we are expected to be prepared. So mostly when it comes to art forms, it is the dance, the music, and some other puppet show, etc. But since this aspect of syllabus is heavily focused in prelims, UPSC doesn't tend to ask, usually doesn't ask questions from this area in mains. Okay, and this is what is from the first pointer. But besides what I have told, there are other few themes which are implicit. One is the Bhakti and Sufi movement tradition, and the other is Indian philosophy. So there will be certain questions from Indian philosophy. There can be a question from our Upanishadic wisdom. There can be a question from our orthodox classes like Buddhism and Jainism. The 6 classes, and there can be questions from unorthodox classes, religions, right? Buddhism, Jainism, and the Lokayata principles, right? So that is one more major theme. And apart from that, did I miss anything? Okay.
So now we have told you the broad themes. What will you go back and do about these? You will not become historians, right? Evolution of temple architecture or temple architecture as a whole, you will have only one sheet of notes. Only in that one sheet of notes, everything has to be condensed.
Exactly, because see, the diagrams for temple won't change. When it is Nagara style, there is a standard representative diagram. When it is Visara style, and when it is in its most primitive style, it's simply a flat roof. The diagrams won't change, even if they are asking, like in last year, there was a question on Chandela art, right? So you can simply use those diagrams here. It's not expected to you to become Ravi Verma there, all right? They are expecting basic representations, and the basic features will remain same. So you can make your preparation smart by making the identifying those points which are common to all irrespective of specific dynasty, and then you can only add those 5 or 6 specific points for each dynasty in the same page. Okay,
Right.
that makes a smart preparation.
Then one page for Jainism, one sheet for Buddhism, one sheet for Gupta, one sheet like
Yes.
this. Max to max, you should have only
Yes.
for the first point.
That's all.
Max to max 20 sheets. These 20 sheets you will keep reading and rereading.
Okay. And there is one more thing. In art forms, there is this theme, whichever art is very prominent in our daily life would become a question. There was a question on lion and bull figurines, right? And there was a question on Nataraja. Yes, yes, ma'am. And if you find any such things, you can expect a question on it. You can expect a question on lotus itself. What lotus carries, the significance of lotus in Indian art and culture as well as social life.
We'll also be showing you how to do this note making. So sir has scanned his PDFs of his mains notes, and we'll show you how dense it has to be in terms of information and how you have to collate only the important parts. So your entire spectrum, your modern history spectrum is condensed in 20 odd pages.
Yes, it's 40 pages, but yes, in some of the pages they are not condensed, so that's why it ran up to 40 pages. But if you condense everything, it will boil down to 25 pages. Okay, so shall we briefly list out the themes? So come on, please, one of you start and list the themes. Okay, since we discuss them, just let's clarify it right away. Okay, first theme, right? Second theme, third theme, fourth theme, fifth theme, right? Sixth theme, seventh theme, eighth theme. Any significant art forms that we see around in everyday life. Okay, which will be, this will not be something cliche, okay, which will be something very significant. So the lion and bull figurines were asked because it is everywhere, from currency to temples. Okay, even the lotus, wherever you go, you'll find lotus. Okay, even in political parties. Okay, so that's about art and culture, and these are the themes that you should focus on, and that is how you need to bring smart preparation. And when we talk about value addition, you know the themes, right? So whenever it is temple architecture, you should prepare a standard conclusion and a standard introduction, because no matter, there can be 10 12 questions from temple architecture, but you can introduce same introduction and conclusion every time. But you should be smart enough that you should make those value additions be bit generic and suiting it to the context of the question. For instance, I used to write like so temples are living archives, or temples are living library. So this is right. Temples, what are temples? The temple panels, they have stories, they have Mahabharata, they have Ramayana, they have social life, right? These are what? Living library etched in stone. So that's what I used to write. It's a simple idea that I felt I should share.
You should know how to draw a basic temple structure in few seconds. Basic stupa structure in a few seconds. Learn how to draw the emblem in few seconds.
Yes. You should be, because when it comes to arts, it has to be expressed. Diagrams are advised.
You can also draw the India map and put pins on certain places where there are important temples. That's also something that you can do.
That adds value. It just doesn't show that you are writing examples. You're also bringing context to that example, like this belongs to this region, this period in the map. Okay. So, all right. Now coming to the second part of the syllabus, modern history. Okay. In modern history, right, please tell me, you are a student, you are a new student, was just begun. Tell me, how do you think modern history will help you, or why do you think you should study modern history? Because modern history, it has one thing. It is full of that dhurandhar between Indian Congress and British. Okay. And the second thing, that it has shaped Indian society, Indian polity, and Indian economy. So, and these are the two main themes. And between these two themes, there are major prominent leaders who have made significant contributions. So these are the three themes. One is freedom struggle and all major events associated with it. And the question will always be in this manner, that what was the event and what are its implications. Okay. And the second major theme is impact of British administration on Indian society. There are three subparts here: Indian society, Indian economy, and Indian polity. All right, when it comes to Indian society, it is on Indian tribes, Indian peasants, and Indian people and women, and sometimes the caste discrimination, etc., because it has roots in the census. And when it comes to Indian polity, the British policies of ring fence, the British charters, 1935 acts, everything had its imprint on Indian political structure. And third thing, on Indian economy, we know that the British industrial policies, the three policies or the three phases that they had, capitalist, the mercantilist, the industrialist, and the capitalist. Right? There were three phases. So this is how it shaped India, right? So these
You
are
all have divided modern history into 3 arcs that sir said. What are the 3 arcs? No, he told about polity.
all right. Polity, society, and economy. In society, the impact will also be on women, education, right? Because we have a educational policy that ran across the British administration. So, and the third most important thing is the theme, major theme, contributions from prominent leaders. What they did with respect to society, polity, and not likely economy. Economy, generally, it's about thought, because when it comes to society, it is social religious reform movements. Okay. And when it comes to polity, how did their efforts led or contributed towards freedom struggle, or how did their thought process shaped Indian constitution or evolution of Indian polity? Because when Gandhi ji or Ambedkar ji says something about the method of or the mode of government like parliamentary or presidentship, it actually shaped our present structure. And the third thing is economy. And economy, it's mostly about thought, which kind of model we should adopt. Some supported the decentralized model, some supported the capitalist, some supported the socialist, and some had the communist thought, right? So under only these three heads, there will be questions. So we identified three broad themes, and in the couple of them, we have three sub themes. So with this only, you need to make notes. Okay. So it will fulfill and align yourself to in line with the UPSC Mains pattern. Okay. So, ma'am, did I leave anything? Would like to add anything? Okay. So that's about it. If you simply look at the syllabus line, modern history from about the middle of the 18th century and present significant events, personalities, issues. Okay, I have covered these themes, this part of syllabus in the theme itself. What are significant events? The freedom struggle movements and the Congress events. And what are the personalities? I told that. And what are the issues we discussed in society? Okay.
And also we'll be giving you a glimpse of the notes. So if out on any sub theme,
Yes.
we can add.
If at all we missed, that can be a, I'll try to show it there. The freedom struggle. It's various stages and important contributions from different parts of the country. We discussed this. Okay. Then let's come to the post-independence consolidation and reorganization within the country. Okay. Having known or understood the ancient art and culture and modern history part, the next pertinent thing is what was the post-independent history of India. Okay. In post-independence, we were taking legacy or baggage of the British rule. So it left its own challenges and its own imprints. Over that, we were supposed to build our nations. So what were the major themes? What are the major themes in post-independence histories? Again, same. Society, economy, polity. In economy, we were left with a dilapidated and deindustrialized nation. All right. In polity, the major issue was national integration. Okay. In economy, we discussed. In society, we were a poverty-stricken, illiterate society. Okay. Who adopted democracy. So the question will be on these themes. And when you look at the questions, what are the questions? The questions are about the state reintegration, right? State reorganization and political integration of nation. And the second question is on green revolution. Green revolution pertains to society and economy. And the third question will be generally, since it's not asked, we can expect how some of the reforms, they led to broader development and inclusive development, because there was this privy purse thing, there was blank nationalization, and there was this 21-point program. So these are very prominent things that post-independent India witnessed when it comes to development. And fourth thing is adoption of technology, C dot in 1980s during Rajiv Gandhi era, right, ma'am? C dot. So you need to study in these heads how the post-independent, what major things happened with respect to polity, economy, and society in post-independent India. Okay, so that's up for. And sometimes you can expect a question from 5-year plans, but since it is also there in GS3 economy, we don't consider it to be part of post-independent India. Okay, and coming to world history.
Add
Yeah.
one more. So
Definitely.
you pick up these words, for example, industrial revolution. You prepare a one sheet or one pager notes on this. How will you prepare? Ask all your WH questions. What, when, why, how, who. So that's how prepare notes for industrial revolution. So that one sheet should have everything about industrial revolution. When did it happen? Why did it happen? What exactly happened? Who are the proponents, etc. Getting my point? Are you with me?
Right. And don't get worried too much about names. Worry more about the reasons and its implications. Because the questions are, they are asking what it did to countries and humanity. Okay. Because there was a question on railways, right? A few years back, I think 23, ma'am, there was this question on railways, how railway impacted the nations that it colonized. Okay. Now
So
coming
that
to
your why component is what sir stressed on. Finally, you have to identify the positives and the negatives and also the way forward.
all right, rightly pointed as ma'am. Why and how are two things that UPSC focuses on. We are in era of ChatGPT, where who, what, when, where is at fingertips. You can get it at a click. What you as an individual understood is or can be assessed only by how well you are able to reason it out. So that is why and how become important questions for UPSC both in prelims and mains. Okay, now coming to world history. In world history, think like you should not think like a historian when you are looking into GS syllabus, because it is general studies. So as a normal person, like a normal citizen, what do you think one should know about the world history, right? What are the major events that happened and how it shaped the world that we live today? So this is the only theme that world history, the UPSC focus on. But in this theme, we have few things. One thing is the major revolutions. Okay, these revolutions had their impact.
Sorry to cut you, sir. What are the major revolutions that you can think of? Next. Not clear. Next.
Yes. American Revolution, French Revolution, Russian Revolution, and sometimes Japanese and Chinese Revolution. All right. So how they shaped the polity, the global political thoughts, because the current thoughts that we see today, the communism, the socialism, the democracy, it has its roots in these revolutions. Okay. The political systems that we have, that you study in GS2, know what kind of system the German has, what kind of system the America has, presidential, semi-presidential. These are all evolved during the world history. Okay. So these are the major things that will be asked when it comes to revolutions. Its implications on political thoughts and structure, and its implication on society, and its implication on economy. Okay. And coming to next theme, again, world wars. Sorry, there is one more thing, industrial revolution, because this was that inflection point in human history that we started to spread like cockroaches on earth because it started to give lot of food, lot of resources, and seamless connectivity. All right. So industrial revolution becomes very prominent. It has fueled the political thought, it has shaped the society, and it is shaping the economy. Right. Today, what is happening? Products are not created for consumers. Consumers are created for products. Okay, this is one outcome of industrial revolution. So you need to study with that angle. So two themes, right? Revolutions, industrial revolution, and then third thing is the world wars. Okay, world wars. Why? Because all your modern technology and the current global architecture, the UN system, has roots in world wars. You could have not imagined the growth of digital world or a man flying, the helicopters, the jets, everything had its root in outsmarting each other. The global powers were trying to become stronger than their opponents, and in that pursuit, the technology started to grow in an exponential scale. So, world wars will become important again from political uh, implications, social implications, economic implications, and technological. Is the only area you will see there can be a question how it impacted or how it shaped the modern world, particularly in terms of the technology and science. Okay, and the fourth major theme is the ideologies. We have few ideologies: the imperialism, colonialism, communism, socialism, and democracy, etc. Anything else that I left? Yes, capitalism. So you should have one page notes on all of this. One page. One page is that's all you require. Nothing else. So as we discussed, the three or five revolutions, including Japanese and Chinese, being bit extra cautious here. And we have one industrial revolution, 6 pages, and we have three thoughts, political thoughts, 9 pages, and colonization, decolonization, 10 pages. Decolonization, you can have 3 pages, 2 to 3 pages, 12 pages, and world wars, 2 pages. So 15 pages is what you should have in your world history.
Ideally, to study those 15 pages, how much time? Less than a day? Your world history is done in less than a day? That's the amount of time you have to contribute to world history. You don't have to sit with books and certain coaching material, etc., for the purpose of world history. If something comes, you just read that topic in 2 minutes, read it from chat GPT, you understand the consequences, benefits, and way forward, and move forward. That's the amount of time. You cannot be spending more than a day for world history if you have those 15 pages, right?
All right, because the books that you study are like movies. If I'm asking you to explain the movie in 7 minutes, will you be able to narrate entire scenes? No, right? You'll be picking the most crucial points that defines the movie. Same thing here. When you're studying, you should make one page notes that you will be able to use if at all any questions come from that area in the limited time. Okay, you don't have all the time in this world to sit and master the world history and become the next Yuval Noah Harari. Okay.
See, the entire purpose of today's and tomorrow's session is to ensure that you guys don't make the same mistakes that we did. So just learning from our mistakes, we're trying to make things simpler for you so that you, first of all, don't waste your time. Also, you operate at maximum efficiency, right?
So that's about the history part. And coming to the weightage that it carries, it's
Who will be
very,
able to tell
yes.
before
Someone
sir
of
tells?
you, do you know how many marks or
Till here we've gone through the syllabus, right? So what do you think is the weightage given to all these points that we went through in the paper? Out of 250 marks, how many marks do you think is going to come? Huh?
yes, it is
Maximum 70.
yes 70.
That
You
too,
are-
some years they don't even ask questions on world history.
there are few certainties here. You can note it down. You will be facing 5 questions or at best 6 questions from first 4 parts of the syllabus. Art and culture, modern history, post-independence, and world history. From these four parts, you can expect 99% times, and if your day is bad, 6 questions. Okay, you'll get a world history question then, and within that, you will get 2 questions from art and culture. Okay, one will be about some art form, temple, etc., literature, etc. And the other will be about ancient contributions, glory, society, etc. Or philosophy. That could be anything. And in modern history, you can expect 2 questions. Okay, one from freedom struggle, the other from the impact of colonial rule. Within freedom struggle, you will get to see the contributions of leaders and the comparison between leaders. And in world history, between world history and post-independence, you can expect 1 question. Sometimes 1 question from each. So 5 to 6 is maximum you are going to get. So you should, why we try to point out it, because what we generally tend to do when we start to study something, we pick from start of the syllabus. And then we realize that we are studying months for this much, and all we are getting is questions amounting to 70 marks. And we are, rushing with other part which carries bulk of the weight, nearly 180 marks. Okay. So your time and energy should be proportionately distributed strategically so that you are using your time efficiently. Okay. So I'll pass over to ma'am to discuss the geography and society part. So we'll then take up the further aspects.
Okay.
All right.
So there is a misconception that GS paper 1 is a history paper. So looking at what all we went through right now, you're getting only 70 marks out of 250 marks from history and the other parts, history, art and culture. So now, do you think it is a history paper? So the next point is about society, and the point after that is about geography, right? So how much do you think society carries weightage? So in the last 5 years, on an average, it carries 70 to 80 marks. Okay. And the next point, I'll cover it off here only. So the next point being about geography, how much do you think geography covers? On an average, based on the last 5 years papers, 90 to 100 marks. So what's the highest? Geography. Geography is 90 to 100. Society is 70 to 80, and history max to max 70 marks. So you will allocate your time maximum to what? Geography you will first prioritize. Next in the line of prioritization will be society, and the next after that will be history. So now I'll just take pointers from society. Salient features of Indian society: diversity of India, role of women, women organization, population, associated issues, poverty, developmental issues, urbanization. Okay. I'll just teach you how to prepare for society. Okay. This should act as a cardinal principle for you to prepare for all pointers in society, right? Society, social justice, and social issues. These 3 things you will be studying together. Make a note of it. In which paper is your social justice coming? GS2, correct? But you will study both of them together. You will not compartmentalize both of them and study. But when you're writing GS paper 1, you will study from the, you will write from the angle of society. In GS paper 2, you will write the answer from the angle of social justice, right? Just picking up on one word, urbanization. All of you live in Bengaluru for the purpose of studies, right? So we'll just pick up that, and I will make sure that you guys tell me how to make the notes, right? It will not be me telling you how to make the notes. Just picking up urbanization. You make one sheet on urbanization, only one sheet, front and back, okay? One sheet. First, you write down what are the biggest urban centers across the world. Come on, tell me fast. I need you to tell me answers quickly, because these are not things that you don't know. You definitely know them. They're just not coming out, right? So what are some of the biggest urban centers across the world? Across the world, not India, right? So first pointer will be urban centers across the world. Next point will be urban centers across India, right? Now, if there is any question on urbanization in the paper, in the question paper, one thing you can do, you can draw one world map and just put some points and say that the best, like the biggest urban centers across the world were here. You can do that. Examiner will be impressed. Or you can draw the India map, draw Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore. That solves a great chunk of problem. Next, you can also draw a graph. You don't know the statistics, but in 1946, what do you think was the level of urbanization? Low. Draw one small bar. Then during LPG, 1991, 1992, what do you think was the level of urbanization? More than 1946? Can gauge, at least gauge, draw another bar. This is taking into consideration that you don't know where the urban centers are or you want to write something unique. You can use this for other papers also. Right, 1991, you draw a little more enhanced. I don't have a pen here, otherwise I would have drawn. Then you draw a bigger bar, right? Then come to 2025.
We allowed to take a pen.
Know from your general knowledge, right? No rocket science in this. Then you will, right? Examiner sees, impressed again. The small value addition points. You will put this again in your one pager notes. Then you will put some statistics from some census reports, right? You will find out what is the level of urban population in India, right? Next, the important point. What are the pros and what are the cons? I need 15 pros, I need 15 cons, right? Can you tell me some pros of urbanization? You tell me. Job opportunity, then lifestyle, then pros. Okay, tell me some cons. Okay, pros are not coming easily. Let's see, think about cons. Because we are so mentally conditioned to look at the negatives of everything, right? So tell me the cons first. Okay. Slums? No? Slums issue? Water scarcity is an issue. Civic amenities is an issue. Pollution is an issue. Right? Think beyond these basic points. Basic points is something that everybody will write in the paper. Little beyond the basic point. This is a society paper. Society paper alli nimige urbanization anta one point kotti. So think, I'm giving you 2 seconds to think. From society and the issue with urbanization. What are happening comes.
Yes, keep ahead, keep going on.
Then increase in number of crimes, right? Incidence of crimes will increase. Law and order problems will increase. Now you write those points on the top. Your paper is differentiated from the others' papers.
Ma'am, I would like to add one thing here. See, you can think it structurally. What is, when it comes to society, what is the impact on individual? What is the impact on social institutions? Institutions can be marriage, family, etc. What is the impact on general social stability? And what is the impact on social mobility and social change? So these are the basic framework which you can generate points. Okay, you start to think in this framework, you can easily generate those 5 to 10 points. Okay.
So now we know some pros, we know some cons. I jot down 15 points as pros, 15 points as cons. Then what else do I have to know for urbanization? Some schemes. Government has so many schemes, right? Schemes are mandatory. Examples. Can you tell me some schemes? Smart city. Next. Amrut. Okay. Civic amenities. Immediately Amrut will come. Next. PM Awas. Right? Look at different schemes. Write down some 10 schemes. 10 easily you will get. Write down those 10 schemes. You don't have to write explanation for those schemes. Right? Next, you write some examples of good urban plans. Those are recent. Planned urbanization in Chandigarh, in Gandhinagar by Lee Corbusier plan. Other than that, look into the past. Look into our history. Harappan civilization. This is something that you know. It's not just coming out, right? You note that down. Examples, have 6 to 7 examples, have 10 schemes, 15 pros, 15 cons, and a way forward. That's it. That's all you have to do. And the same thing you will replicate for other pointers. Correct? Distribution of key natural resources across the world. What do you understand by key natural resources? Come on. It's okay if you're wrong also. I want you guys to talk. Because the mains exam is less about writing, more about brainstorming. Mental stimulation. The more you discuss, the better answers will come. Right? So now, will I prepare for key natural resources? Tell me 10 key natural resources that you will prepare those one pager for. I want you to tell me, otherwise you are at a loss. Right? 10 key natural resources. Tell me. Coal, oil, okay. Gold, okay. We see gold prices increasing. They might be interested to ask us. Next. Critical minerals. Crude oil is done. Then, so you will, uranium, yes. So you will list out these 10 key resources, make 10 maps, find out where the locations of these resources are. Rest of the pointers you know how to write. Correct? Where uranium is used, you can write pointers, right? Next, primary, secondary and tertiary sector industries. What do you mean by primary? Something that you are directly extracting. Then secondary. If I ask you primary in India, what will you draw? Almost everywhere, right? Then secondary, so we won't draw. Okay, then secondary, manufacturing industry. For example, textile industries is mentioned. How will you do it? You'll draw an India map. Where will you put the pointers? Gujarat, Bombay, that corridor, right? Tertiary sector, what is tertiary sector? Where will you put? Bangalore, majorly we'll put Bangalore, right? So you're just understanding the gist of how to go about it. Immediately when you see a question, GS paper 1, almost each and every question should have a diagram or a flow chart or a bar, or for example, geography, you will have diagrams, right? Or a map. Your GS paper 1, at least 19 out of 20 questions should have these value addition components. Okay? Now, society is 70 to 80 marks. How much is geography? Geography. You will study geography, environment, disaster management, and economic geography together. These 4 things you will study together. How did I ask you to study society? society, social issues, and social justice together, right? You cannot study in silos. You cannot compartmentalize and study. You have to study all these 4 things together. Where is environment? Which paper? Where is disaster management? Where is economic geography? ES3. Where is geography? We will be going through 2025 paper to see why I need to study all these 4 things together, right? Where will you study basic geography from? Fundamentals of Physical Geography. That blue color NCRT book, that's your Bible. Nothing more than that is coming. Okay. Can now we'll be seeing each and every question. You'll just be telling me which topic it is, right? Sir, I'm moving to question paper. What's the salient features of Harappan architecture? Which part of the syllabus? Because it has architecture. Okay,
Okay. So shall we discuss or what?
we'll discuss. So first I'm making them identify. So since I was at society and okay, this, can you guys see? Can you see? Right? How are climate change? First you will underline climate change. How are climate change and sea level rise affecting the very existence of many island nations? Where do you hear the word climate change subject? Do you study it in geography? This is a geography question paper. GS-1 question paper. Sea level rise. Sea level rise, where do you study? Also study in environment, climate change, right? Why are they asking you environment questions in geography? Okay. Very existence of many island nations. This is a geography paper. You are writing the answer from the lens of geography in GS1. This is not paper 3. Same question if they would have asked in paper 3, you would have answered the question differently. Now how will you answer this question? You'll draw a map. Forget everything. First think of a map. Right? You'll draw a map. Will you draw some parts of Polynesia where there are island nations? Okay, you don't know how to draw Polynesia. You will draw the Indian map and Indian Ocean. Can you point out Mauritius, Maldives? They're also island countries, right? That you can say that there is increase in sea level rise and these countries are getting affected. Yes or no? Some idea you got into how you're going to approach the geography question, right? Looks like a environment question. Answer from geography point of view. Okay. Explain briefly the ecological. Where do you study the word ecological? Environment. And economic benefits. Economic benefits. GS3. Why are they asking me GS3 question? What should I do? Again, you remember that this is a geography paper. I have to attempt this question from geography point of view. Okay. Next, I come to what are tsunamis. This paper has only one pure geography question. Okay. Yeah, I will draw one diagram how tsunamis are taking place. Which diagram will you draw? Huh? No diagram for tsunami. What is the general phenomenon on which tsunami is based?
Rise of amplitude of wave.
Okay, should we tell you the themes for geography? Please write down. and plate tectonics.
So this comes broadly under physical geography. Okay. In physical geography, there are few prominent sub areas. Okay. One is about Earth, the physical Earth. That is about plate tectonics, geomorphology. That is one. So, what is the major component of Earth? Water. So, oceanography. And what is the other major component of Earth? The air, atmosphere. So, climatology, and what do you call atmosphere? So, three things, right? Three broad things. And you might have seen the PYQs. One question from atmosphere. Like in last year, also they asked about aurora borealis. They asked about a few years back. They asked about thermosphere, right? So one question from there, and you know oceanography, what they are asking about tides, about importance of oceanic phenomena, the ocean currents, and in geomorphology, they are mostly focusing on the plate tectonics and the movements associated with the earthquakes, the tsunamis, etc., etc. So this is one broad theme. Physical geography. In that we have three. Okay, think like the basic ones. Okay, don't simply try and collect the keywords. Like I said, Earth, what three major components? Panchabhuta, Nela, Gali, Bhumi, and the vegetation. And the other part is what? The sky, universe. Okay. Water we have, earth we have, air we have, fire we can't consider in this case, and the vegetation. These are the four broad themes in physical geography. When it comes to Indian geography, the same things in Indian context. So they asked about Deccan Traps, they asked about Gondwana lands. These are what? The geomorphologies. Okay, landforms. They asked about Indian Western Ghats, maybe some other Himalayas. These are what? The Indian geomorphological and vegetation part. And they'll ask about monsoon. Okay, this is about the wind patterns. Yes, in atmosphere there is this another aspect, the patterns of global wind circulations. Okay, so this is about physical geography, Indian geography, and third thing is the geographical phenomenons. Phenomenon is what? That dynamic things that happens in the environment around us. What dynamic things? We get storm, we get tsunami, we get earthquakes, and we have what twisters. We had a question on it. We had cyclones, right? These are the phenomena that we see. The El Nino, Enso. These are the phenomena. Okay. And apart from that, what we have? Key flora and fauna. That is what is keyword, right? So it mostly pertains to different types of vegetations, forests that we have, and there is one more part, landforms, right? So there were questions on isthmus, trades. There were questions on what else? Himalayas, etc. These are the landforms. But underlying theme of everything is UPSC will only ask those parts which are significant for human economy. Right. Something which is not relevant to human economy is not general interest of UPSC. Moreover, anything that is not useful for us is not required for us, right? That is what has been the human psychology. So same thing apply here. So apart from that, did I miss anything, ma'am?
So all of you repeat what are the major themes in geography?
Sorry, I left one more part, the resources part. What are the basic resources that we need to survive? Water, soil, right? And air is the most basic things. And then comes the next level things, the mineral resources, the energy resources. Okay. And then next comes the critical minerals. So this is the basic area which UPSC tends to ask, and its associated distribution and the industries associated with that particular minerals.
So
Okay?
if sir is saying water, what all will you include in that water resource? Okay. And then ocean currents. You will learn the distribution, where are the cold currents, where are the warm currents, have it on your map, right? Okay, so broadly, what are the themes that you guys jotted down? Plate tectonics, seaflow spreading. Next, oceanography, Okay, next. Phenomenons. You can draw a diagram for each of these, right? Are there any for which you cannot draw a diagram? No, right? In 5-6 seconds, you can draw a diagram for each of these. Okay, next. Then vegetation. Resources. Next. The basic idea of today's session is for you guys to understand how to approach this paper. Okay, we are only teaching you the approach. We are not giving you notes. We are not teaching you the subject itself. We are only teaching you the approach. For example, look at this question number 9. The ethos of civil service in India. What does it sound like? Which subject does it sound like? Ethics. Why are they asking me ethics question in one? So which topic is this? I'll complete the question. In India stand for, so I'll rephrase the question. The ethos of civil service in India stand for the combination of professionalism with nationalistic consciousness. Which subject is this question coming from?
Independence, right? So it is one of the foundational pillar that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji envisaged as the steel frame. Right? This is what has held the nation together. So the question is directly coming from post-independent India's consolidation. All right. So that is where you need to look at. Like I said, in post-independent India, we need to learn under 3 heads: the political, the society, and the economy. This comes under that part where no. It's not just about polity. It overlaps with polity and society. Okay. Because civil service is political aspect and the nationalistic consciousness is social aspect. Okay.
If the same question comes in GS paper 4, how will you answer it? From the lens of ethics. You will list out the values, you will list out the other ethical dimensions in this question and answer it. But this in GS paper 1, that's not how you are going to answer, right? How are you going to answer? From the lens of history and society, an intersection of both. Just look at the 10th question.
And see, the ethos itself points towards the social values. Okay. So that is a overlapping region between society and post-independence India. So, ma'am, I would like to add some things here. When you are studying GS1, don't compartmentalize things. History separate, society ಬೇರೆ, and then we have geography, it is different. No. Hedi, are you living society differently, history differently, polity differently, and geography differently? Right? You are sitting, this is geography. Okay. You are recollecting your friend, he is going to lunch now, that is history. Okay. Now I am interacting, this is society. And maybe you are dreaming of becoming an IAS, that is polity, or you are asked to sit in specific discipline, that is what is polity. Okay. So all things, they are always in sync. So while you are studying, don't compartmentalize things. Okay. You can always generate points by keeping these 4 things as heads. Okay. So ma'am, please.
Okay. Question 10. Do you think that globalization results in only an aggressive consumer culture? What does this statement sound like? Press on the word only. Justify your answer. Do you think the globalization results in only an aggressive consumer culture? What is the tone of the question? Negative? Right? What do they want you to write more on? The negatives or contradictory approach towards aggressive? Right? What is the opposite of aggressive culture? Globalization is not only resulting in this, but there are other components also. What are the other components that we see? You guys know it all. Who guys know it? I want the answer to come from you. sustainable development, right? Increase in globalization has also increased a call for sustainable development. 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. Increase in globalization has also caused an increase in awareness, right? Responsible consumption, yes. It is against aggressive culture, correct? So we live in an era where there are contradictory approaches as well, right? Then thrift culture. Thrifting also is come up nowadays, right? So all these things exist concurrently. So your answer wants you to highlight what all is there other than aggressive. Understand the tone of the question. Till now, whatever we saw, they were all straightforward questions. The tone of the question changed. They want you to stress on the opposite of aggressive consumer culture. Understood? Are you with me? Or should I try to narrate in a different fashion?
Is trying to tell you how to understand the question, comprehend it, and divide the demands into parts proportionately. This question is asking what? If I'm telling a statement that UPSC, the candidates who are coming to library, they are only wasting time on chit-chatting in their tea lunch. So I'm making this statement. I'm asking you to justify. What do you think? Illalla sir, ನಾವು ಟೀ ಲಂಚ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನೇ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೂತೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, and we enrich our knowledge, and we are becoming aware citizens, and we are on our path to pass the exams, right? So same thing. When I'm telling that it is only fueling aggressive consumer culture, I'm asking you to justify. Is it only? No, right? Yes, you need to address this first as a context. Yes, it is fueling. It is also true, right? You're wasting time in chit-chatting in your teas and lunch hours together. It is also true. You need to acknowledge it first. And then you need to show that, no, it is far more than that. So we come to library for much more bigger purpose than wasting time. The same thing here. Globalization is much more than simply fueling consumerism. Okay? So that's what the demand of the questions that Madam was trying to point out. Okay? So ma'am, am I clear?
Yeah. So just taking what sir said, divide the question parts, right? For example, trace India's consolidation process during early phase of independence in terms of polity, economy, education, and international relations. How many parts are there to this question according to you? Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 parts. You will divide the entire question into 4 parts. You will address the consolidation for each of them.
This is very straight where you can easily divide the demands. But some questions are not explicit where you need to identify and break down. Like the globalization question was one, where you need to identify that the question is not about consumerism, it is about what beyond it. So the weightage has to be 70% for what after consumerism and only 30% for why it is and how it is fueling consumerism. So in this, it is given anyways, like Madam said, 4 parts will be there.
Okay, French Revolution has enduring relevance to the contemporary world. Explain. So where is this question coming from? World history. So are you going to state some historical facts, or are you going to tell how certain relevance is there from French Revolution in today's world? Do you think there is an intersection of world history and society here? What are the principles from French Revolution that are important in society today, in Indian society? So you see that there is an intersection. You're not approaching it primarily from world history point of view. your answer wants you to narrate what from world history is important for your society today. That's what the question is asking you about. So understand the need of the question, the demand of the question, and adequately answer. So initially you guys were telling me that it's a world history question. Moment we see French Revolution, it's a world history question. No, that's not how it operates. Okay, give a geographical explanation of distribution of offshore oil reserves of the world. Topic is this? Is this physical geography? Economic geography? How are they different from onshore occurrences of oil reserve? What does this sound like? This is a paper 3 question. Sounds like a paper 3 question, but it's asked in paper 1. So I should answer it from the point of geography alone. How can AI and drones be effectively used along with GIS and remote sensing techniques in locational and aerial planning? Which topic is this? Science paper, not our paper, not paper 1. So in paper 1, under which head will you? Art and culture, society, or geography?
It's
Just
both.
because he said GIS, it is geography.
No, it overlaps with geography. It overlaps with planning means what? Society. Urbanization, yes. And location, yes, same things.
Can you ever have notes prepared for this? Is this from your notes? Do you think anybody who wrote the exam would have prepared for this with some study material? So, as soon as you see this question in the exam, what will you do? You're writing them. How many parts will you divide this question? Parts will you divide this question into?
Please tell. Someone of you start.
There is AI, there is drones, there is GIS, there is remote sensing, there is locational and aerial planning. 6 keywords I've identified. Does not mean that there are 6 parts to the question, okay? Just try to analyze.
Can anyone please?
See, this entire
Because we need to
mentorship
participate.
program that we are here for is for you to reason things out and come up with answers on your own. Mental stimulation, discussion. Right? If I keep giving you the answers, when will you guys think and come up with answers? So the idea of having a mentor is also to ensure that you come up with key pointers on your own by talking to someone and brainstorming with them. You are able to come up with points organically. That is the idea of this entire mentorship program. So I want you guys to put on your thinking hats and analyze how many parts does this question have. Backbenchers.
Yes, yes. Someone, yes, name them. No, I'm not asking for keywords. Break it into heads. What heads you will divide your answer? Heady, please. Okay, next.
See, modern, again, the problem with, see, this is why mentor is important. Modern technology impact on society. You're drifting away from the question. You're drifting away from the demand of the question. He just wants you to tell me about AI and drones. Modern technology is quantum technology also. He doesn't want to know about quantum technology. You're again coming back to only AI and drones. Right?
So you can simply start by what is AI and drone in a combination, and then you can address what AI and drone combination can bring in, the features or the qualities that it brings. Yes, you can survey large areas, this thing, that thing, etc.
You can make a
simply write
flow
those
chart of
points.
uses.
Uses. and then apply those users to GIS and RS techniques. This is your second major part. And third thing, what measures we have taken and how it can transform India. So this is how you can conclude. So can you identify any scheme or initiative that is associated with this question? Because this is directly coming from that, because that is what I sensed the moment I saw the question. So which scheme is that? Sorry? Anyone? There is a scheme going
Very
on, right?
famous scheme.
Swamitva, yes. So that is where the question is coming from. This is exactly what we are doing in Swamitva.
Okay, just to give certain conceptual clarity, although that's not we are doing, not what we are doing. What is GIS? It is an upcoming area. You have to know everything about GIS. What is GIS? So what happens because of GIS? Huh? Huh? Talk, you guys need to talk. What happens because of GIS? Okay, at least go home today, find out what is GIS, what is the state of GIS today in India. Are we depending on someone else to figure out our GIS? What is RS? I wouldn't have said remote sensing. Who else knew that RS means remote sensing? Did you guys know that RS was remote sensing? So what happens because of remote sensing? Can map the resources. Very important. Then what else? Okay, what is AI? Artificial intelligence. What does it do? Okay, then on all, okay, I'm not going to ask you guys more questions and trouble you. On AI, have one sheet of notes. On drones, have one sheet of notes. On GIS, have one sheet of, not one sheet, half or one side. And on remote sensing, have one side. Because this is the future, right? This will not only help you for GS-1 paper, but for your science and tech papers also. And this is the future of technology, right? All important areas. Even if it doesn't help you directly, it will help you indirectly in questions. Imagine if everybody is writing all standard pointers and you suddenly write remote sensing. That person who's correcting the paper also will be thrilled. Oh, this kid knows so much, right? Discuss how the changes in shape and sizes of continents and ocean basins of the planet take place due to tectonic movements of the crustal masses. Pure geography question. Which theme? Which book? Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Easy. Discuss the distribution and density of population in the Ganga river basin with special reference to land, soil and water resources. What will you do as soon as you see this question? Draw a map. You will draw Ganga. You will show settlements around Ganga. Then you will think about answering the question. How many parts to the question? How many parts? Fast. We'll finish fast and move forward. 3 parts. What are the 3 parts? Okay. Okay. How do you account for growing fast food industries given that there are increased health concerns in modern society? Just illustrate your answer with the Indian experience. Can you ever prepare for this question from your notes? But you definitely know that there is something that I can write in that. What will you write? Fast food industries. Why is there a growth in fast food industries? First, you will write one introduction. What will you write in introduction?
I want to add a thing here. See, this question is very unique. Because where do you see fast foods? Where? Yes. And what is it associated with? Right? And what is this? Industries? Geography or economy? Economy or human geography? So this is that unique blend of society, urbanization, economy. All right. So that is how the trend has been shifted in last few years, where the questions are intersected and integrated. You don't expect a society question means, oh, it will everything will be about society. Or geography means it will be directly concepts. Or history means it's only about the facts and the informations that we cram. Okay, you have to create that interlinkage. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Okay, you write an introduction. Then do a chart or write down the reasons for increase in fast food industries. Then something basic that I taught you guys before this. Something that you can definitely write in this answer, which even the evaluator will be impressed with. Graph. You don't know the exact number. You know that diabetes is increasing in India. This everybody knows. Not new knowledge. You just draw that bar graph. 1946, this much diabetes. 1991, this much diabetes. In 2025, this much increase. You don't have to state the figures. You can just draw that. He will understand that you understood the demand of the question. He will be impressed. Right? Illustrate your answer with Indian experience. Tell me the reasons why fast food industries are growing. If you don't answer the question, I'll start pointing then. Urban, okay. Okay. Indianization of foods, make aloo tikki. Then disappearance of housewives, right? Both are working partners, no time to cook. Then gig economy, link it, right? So you know what to write. With that, you add off one graph, then 5 marks.
For such questions, you can think in demand and supply. What is that fueling for industries to increase their production more, and what is that fueling for consumers to consume more? So you can simply have that points bifurcated in structures. Okay.
Achieving sustainable growth with emphasis on environmental protection. Environmental protection, where are you studying? Yes, 3. Okay. Could come into conflict with poor people's needs in a country like India. Comment. Who will tell me the difference between discuss, comment, critically analyze, describe? Illustrate. Ella vandena. Okay, comment. What is comment? What is critically analyze? Critically analyze. More pros or more cons? Analyze. Sir, if you want to
Yes.
teach them what the tail words, please write down. This is very important. First, you write comment, illustrate, discuss, critically analyze.
And first thing, ma'am, before that, what is analyze? Can anyone tell what is analysis? Yeah. Someone was telling?
Yes, breaking up of something into simpler things.
Right? No, not just breaking, and breaking those things and discussing it. Seeing what it is, why it is, how it is. That is what is analysis. Breaking things into its components. Suppose if I were to analyze any one individual here. So what are the components of an individual? He has a physical part, he has a mental part, right? I mean a cognitive part. So these are the broad components that I can identify and I can analyze. In the physical part, what I can analyze, he has this much height and he has this much weight and he has 2 eyes, 1 brain, 2 horns, and one tail. Okay, just joking. And if I have to analyze cognitive part, I can say that he can remember much, he can think much, or she can think much, or she can comprehend. So this is how you need to analyze. So you need to first identify the components, and then you need to see what are they, both merit and its deficiency or whatever. Okay, we simply cannot say pros, cons, or merit, demerits, whatever it is. So that is what is analysis. When it comes to critically analysis, I'll be critical about your height. So in analysis, I'll simply tell that this person is 5'2". In critical analysis, I'll tell that this person's height is below than national average. Okay, so that is what is critical analysis. And discussion, you can tell anything. 5'2" is good height in considered in India, etc., etc. Okay, so this is how you need to understand that 10 words. There's nothing much rocket science or anything. And comment means you are expected to give your own judgment after analyzing. And that judgment should be based on your understanding, not based on someone's committee or report. That's how you need to make the critical analysis and comment part bit different. Comment means open license. Okay, open license to tell your own opinion, but which should be informed and rational. Okay, ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಂತೆ one sided ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ that will show that you have understood less. Okay, ma'am.
About discuss, illustrate, comment, critically analyze, and justify. One more word, justify.
Tell about illustrate and justify.
When he is saying globalization results in only aggressive consumer culture, you think that it's only resulting in that, and when you're proving contradictory, when you're proving it to be contradictory, you justify. Justify means to reason it out. And when you're writing reasons, you have to keep writing examples. Each pointer, you will have one example. And it's not rocket science for you to not know the examples. This is around you in your everyday life, right? So in justify questions, give examples. With your pointer, you should have examples.
When it comes to these keywords, I identified one thing. Ma'am, please correct me if I go wrong here. In critical analysis, what we'll do? We'll first tell that yes, it fuels aggressive consumerism, and in next part we'll try to tell that it not only fuels consumerism, it has other side to it. But if the same question, suppose I'm telling that considering this is critical analysis, okay, critically analyze. The question is what? Globalization fuels aggressive consumerism. This is the statement, and I'm asking you to critically analyze. So what will I write? First I'll write yes, it is fueling consumerism. The second thing I'll write, it is not just fueling consumerism, aggressive consumerism, it's also promoting sustainable and conscious consumerism. So I'll write points for both, and then I'll take a balanced judgment. But same question, if it is asked in this fashion, that do you think it results in only aggressive consumerism? Justify. The same points, but I'll just restructure it. The same dimensions, I'll restructure it. How? First thing, I'll tell that globalization, I'll define that part, introduction we'll do. Then I'll tell that yes, it fuels aggressive consumer culture, but that is not alone. That is what is, do you think? I'm telling, no, I don't think that it is only fueling aggressive consumer culture. The side you take, what are you taking? You are taking that it is not fueling. For that, you need to give justification. So in that, we were writing the critical analysis part, the second part, that should come as justification here. Okay, more or less, the same things will be there, but it should be suited to different cupboards. Okay, so then wardrobe iruttala, content same tane. You are changing your room from Delhi to Hyderabad or Bangalore, the content will be same, You are only suiting it to different wardrobes. Same thing here. All right, please.
So, that, like sir said, if that statement was given and critically analyzed was there, you will write more negative points compared to the positive points. Here, he's asking you to justify a negatively worded statement. So, we are writing more on negative points. If it had said only analyze this statement, then equally, even if you would have written both the points, it would be good. So, you change your answer based on the tail word. Understood? So what are the words that we are missing? Which, what do you mean by illustration? Examples, okay. Then explain. Illustrate means explain. For example, in law books, when they will give you a section, they will give you illustration with that section. Like in your Indian Contract Act, they will give you the section, then they'll give you an illustration. That means how are you applying that into a real life scenario? Right? You have to explain.
I had a question on illustration. With Indian. This one.
Illustrate your answer with Indian experience. What did I say? Illustrate was for this fast food industries, we are explaining why increase in fast food industries has led to health concerns, and we are explaining why it has led to increase in health concerns. So what are the reasons for increase in fast food industries will be the explanation. Simple. So for
in illustrate especially, it is the cue that the examiner is giving for you to bring mathematics, analytics. What is illustrations? One of the best ways to illustrate is through graphs, right? When you integrate graphs, pie chart, or analysis, something from, as ma'am mentioned, from 1947, 1991, 2025, what is the graph? So whenever you see illustration across the paper, try to bring in that mathematical angle.
what is comment? You can give your balanced opinion. No issues. Everything has to be balanced, okay? It should not be like you're favoring one side more than what is required. Have a balanced opinion. If all these parameters are okay, then this is okay. Any other word? Like, elucidate.
Elucidate means you need to list out points. Elaborate means you need to explain points. Illustrate means to demonstrate points. Simple. Okay. If I'm telling UPSC conducts exam in a fair and transparent manner. Okay. Elucidate. What you can write? First thing, it gives 6 adequate number of attempts for all. Second things, verifies background, the details, scrutinizes them thoroughly. Third thing, the exam is conducted through OMR because you cannot cheat, and it goes in 3 stages. And fifth thing, you can write, this is elucidation. And if you want to elaborate it, you can write more in the same point. It gives OMR is 1 point, right? That is in elucidate. If it is same point, you have to elaborate. You to say that, yes, because OMR tends to, the objective nature of paper tends to eliminate chances of malpractice. Okay. So this is only example I'm trying to give. And the same thing, if it is asked to illustrate, you can say that earlier the exam used to be by pen and paper, where the centers were compromised and there were chances of malpractice. Now that they are digitized, online exams, now it can be monitored from 1 point and there is chances of less malpractice because CCTV monitoring will be there. So this is how you need to illustrate. Do you understand what I tried to tell? Elucidate, elaborate, and illustrate. Okay. even if you don't have complete model answer, at least have that structure, what you could have written there in different parts with any map or any introduction or conclusion. That should also do. Okay. Call it a magic matrix because, can I get the pen? See, these two portions, they will cover the content. All right. Yes. And this portion, including or in combination of with this, that will give you value addition. Okay. And these two portion will tell you how to write answer writing. So all your mains work will be done if you are trying to follow this magic matrix. Okay, you can be a bit flexible in some of the columns. Don't be rigid because it's not easy for everyone to directly pick toppers notes and study comfortably. But yes, you can be flexible. But this matrix is you are expected to do. You will cover all the bases that is required to produce a competitive answer. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, you should have
Topper-
told this matrix to me before. Okay, I would have saved a lot of time.
I think sir has told on his channel, no? So for which subject or which topic, which toppers copy you can refer to. So that is also readily available. You don't need to do the hard work for it. Everything is readily accessible, right? So we come to the end of the session. Do you guys have any questions? We can.
We show some
Yes,
notes.
yes.
if
We were
required.
going to show you.
These are only illustrative, okay? We discussed just now what is illustration. If you-
Just showing you how to make notes
Can you see?
or
Can we
how
exit
to
there?
use notes.
Desktop. Okay. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
So here sir is showing you some of his mains notes for the purpose of GS-1. Just to give you a glimpse of how your note should be. It should not be more than that. Okay.
So I tried to consolidate things, okay? This is what I tried to do. And this is not some standard. Take it with a pinch of salt. I try to do it based on my requirement and my comfort. Okay. So this is how home ruling. This part is there, right? In modern history, we discuss theme, the major events. So I had everything about that theme in 1/3 of the page. Okay, I had Khilafat and I had all things associated with it. So I have written CDM, with India, everything in one page. That is 360-degree. No matter what questions come from that, I can write a good answer any day. So that's how comprehensive I tried to make my notes. You can see I tried to make British policies that influenced princely states. We had a shift from ring fence to subsidiary alliance. I had written it in comparison. This not only helps in mains, but it refines your clarity and helps you in prelims as well. So the impact, because this is what UPSC is concerned about. He's not concerned about what happened. He's concerned about what happened due to what that had happened earlier. Okay, the implications, the impacts, and the same things, the other policies, and we have some important battles. This is not relevant. I mean, UPSC has come away from it. And important Congress sessions, right? Because these are the Congress sessions that shaped where the nation had to move. Because some of the sessions shaped a lot of the things that we are living today. The Lucknow session, you know the impact. The Nagpur session, you know the impact, right? And the Purna Swaraj session and the Swadeshi movement session. These are the 4 major Congress sessions you should know in detail. And then these few major movements, the INA trials. And then coming to the other thing, impact on society. So that is about the freedom and independence. This is about impact on society, the peasants, the tribal uprising, and then the people's resistance. So I have all the keywords at one point with some diagrams, wherever I felt this could add value. So everything is at my disposal in fingertips. And the British economic policy, I had it in the agricultural revenue collection policies, right? So I had everything in comparison, because this is one area where questions tend to come, at least in prelims or mains, more likely. And how Indian society looked in 18th century, because this is the first thing in modern history. 18th century is India, the social, political, and educational economic scenario, because this is what will give you points, how it changed or what was the impact. You should know the base, right? To know that whether your tests are helping you improve marks, you should know that what you scored in the previous test. So we should know the status of the society of 18th century. Only then we will be able to link what happened laterwards due to British intervention. So the unity and communalism part, the caste and untouchability issues, social reform related parts, and women related issues, revolutionaries. This is one question you can expect anytime, because the present national air, it is recognizing every individual's contribution in freedom struggle. It's not just few individuals are one party. So you should always get prepared for these questions. You can expect one question very soon on contributions of revolutionaries, or the question could come like, it is not it was not just a peaceful movement that led to independence. That means there was the other current that was running, which forced the British to yield. Okay. So I have written it in phases. We had 2 phases, right? Revolutionary movements. So I had them in comparison, because this could be a question again, right? Despite both are being a revolutionary side of struggle, how did they differ? That could be the question. So I had it prepared. This is how you should anticipate based on what could come. And that is what you should use to tune your notes. Contributions from abroad. So that could come any day. I had it ready. And then by foreigners who contributed in Indian society, economy, and polity. right? Because there was a question about the contributions. This could come in both from intersection of Indian society, history, post-independence, etc. And there was this, the leaders that we spoke about, Swarajis, it is a club of it. So the question could come from that. And the impact of British rule, their administration on Indian press, Indian education, Indian economy. So those things are covered here. So, and how political, social, and economic developments in world influenced India's colonial movement. Sorry, freedom struggle, right? You know, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? When British were thrashed outside India. So that is when we also felt that yes, these people can be thrashed. ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸಮನ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಯಾರು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಕೂತವ್ರು ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಸ್ ಎಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪಾಸ್. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ the world had on India's freedom struggle. I had notes prepared for it. So these were all anticipatory that I thought the questions could come from this angle. No, I need to upload. You guys subscribe, okay? Only then I'll give you access. Okay, you can get them on my channel. And the role of women in freedom struggle. Like I said, we are in an era where things are being looked very critically. Every angle is being scrutinized. And contributions, like I said, is not by one individual or one party. Everyone contributed to freedom struggle, and that thought can be reflected in your UPSC Mains question. And I had it in very structured manner, okay? What was before 1857? During 1857, post 1857, then NCM, CDM, who and all contributed. So your prelims will also be very clear with this. So that's why I used to score bit good in prelims. This used to rescue me sometimes. And the British economic policies and its impacts. The administration and the evaluation of it on education and law, justice, etc. And I had this diagram. This made sense because the British, the colonial yoke, was standing on the three pillars: the police, IPS, the collector, the IAS, and the military. Okay, that is why the legacy, the colonial legacy, is because we have that structural issues in civil services. This is the British legacy. Okay, the police, army, and civil services. You know, when the British started to give up, when this foundational structure started to collapse. In that INA revolts, the army gave up, and the collectors gave up long before, since Subhash Chandra Bose. And the police, they started to give up after Gandhiji's in CDM, non-cooperation, right? So all the three structures, they collapsed, and the British were simply not in a position to control India through force. That is when they thought safe bet is ಒಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಾರ್ದಾಗ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೆ. Okay. So same thing on judiciary, etc. The themes I have discussed, and there is also positive side to it. The colonial era also had some side effect, fruitful effect on India. That is what I tried to prepare. Benefits of European arrival. I again tried to do it logically, okay? Which European conquest gave which kind of benefit? And then the railways question. Now, how it impacted India in political integration, in social integration, in bringing down the caste discrimination, right? In connecting the regions and in developing the scale of economies, right? That's what I tried to take cue from PYQs. Actually, I had it prepared before the PYQ that came in 2023, right? 3, ma'am. There was a question on railways, right? How it impacted the colonies. 23. I had this note prepared before this 23 mains because I wrote that mains with these notes. That's how your anticipation should work. And the social religious reform movements. See, I had it in my notes. This time this question came around directly. And don't look at it, my marks, okay? Because I had the execution issue. You might feel that he has done a lot of things, but he didn't score well. I didn't score well in GS1 because I botched up things due to my writing speed. Okay, and we know that there is comparison between leaders. There was comparison between Gandhiji and Ambedkar. There was one more comparison between, I think, Ravindranath Tagore and Gandhiji, right? And the comparison will not be between something that is not related. Okay, do you compare an orange with an apple? No, right? Or do you compare, something which are totally unrelated? Are you comparing something like what I should say? So, okay. The comparison be when there will be something connecting link. Do you compare yourself with a corporate employee in your preparation? No, right? You will compare with it your peer who is preparing when it comes to comparison about preparation, right? Same thing here. When the comparison about the thoughts, the political thoughts, and what they have contributed to freedom struggle, the comparison will be between those people where they had the differences. Gandhiji and Ambedkarji had differences. Gandhiji and Ravindranath Tagoreji had differences, and Gandhiji and Tilakji have differences. And the question could come from that. That is what I thought and tried to make a notes. So that was anticipatory. And question could have come directly from Lala Lajpat Pai. That won't be a comparative part. So I tried to make a notes of it. And Annie Besant, she's one of the prominent contributor. Jawaharlal Nehru and yes, important leaders I have covered. Sardar Patel. This question is not come. You can expect any moment. Okay. And then SC Bose. The question has come. Still, I chose to be prepared because he's a very prominent contributor for India's freedom struggle. And had the comparison. I think I saw the PYQs and wrote it later on. Bhagat Singh. And earlier, there is this question. I added this from some test series, I believe. I didn't have this idea. How we, the revolutionary shifted from gun to social ideology. Okay. And then we have Ambedkar's thought and everything. So I had everything in structured manner. Ravindranath Tagore, I simply chose to skip because it appeared very recently. So that's why I had that directly from the GPT. Uncle GPT. Okay. The temple entry movements. This question can come anytime. So in social religious reform movements, the question has been usually about the contributors, the major contributors, Mohan Rai, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. But this is a theme in itself, temple entry movements. Okay, you can directly expect a question, mains question. So that's why I tried to prepare. And contributions from the British, the role of British administrators, what was their impact. So I tried to create that. So this is what is my notes. That's all, nothing much. Okay, so this is how I tried to create it in a very comprehensive manner. So this is only illustrative and you can get it over channel, but keep it only if you feel it is useful. Don't just keep it because it is some topper's notes. Okay, that's it about this part. And I can show you briefly post-independence, same thing. The status of India's independence, I knew it by heart, so I chose not to waste time. And linguistic reorganization, I had everything it in half page. And about rise of democracy in India, because that is one of the prominent achievements that India made.
Important topic.
Right. India is the only surviving democracy in Southeast Asia, right? In post-colonial world, how many colonies there is surviving democracy today? Can you name some countries except India? Any other country that has democracy, which was once ruled by the colonial powers? It's a namesake democracy. The thriving and building democracies like India. Right? Almost every one of our neighborhood saw frequent political turmoil in their constitutions, in their regimes, etc. Right? It is only India that endured. So that is the success we had. We chose to give power to vote to everyone, despite knowing that they are not politically literate. What was the literacy percentage during independence? In single digit or maybe touching double digits. That's all. Okay. So despite that, we chose to give, and we didn't have the EVMs, right? Ellargu slip ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ballot votes. So in such dire situation, India had and showed the courage and showed the trust in its people and its system to build a political order which is founded by the people, for the people, and to the people. Okay? Sure.
That you have to have it at, so what are the stats? Level independence, everyone should know. Level now, everyone should know. Poverty level during independence, everyone should know. Now you should know. Population. So these are all some key stats that should be on your fingertips, because it can come, you can use them anywhere.
And the key facts about the first parliamentary election. This could be a direct question in post-independent India's, okay? Because that was a lot of commentators and Western political scientists, they told that India will become a moth-eaten country where democracy will fail miserably. And still we took that as a challenge and has proven to the world that we are a strong democratic nation. Okay. And then land reforms. As I discussed, I had everything in one page. The background, the impact, and the objectives of land reform. And what are the measures that were taken for land reforms? Okay. And what was its impact? Everything in one page. And I had taken a step forward based on PYQs to analyze it based on regional variation. Yes, land reforms was not uniform across India, right? Every region, there was a difference and a variable degree of success and failure. So that points also I tried to note. We had those 5 regions and I tried to make some points which whenever there is a specific question on that, I can use them. And after that, the emergency is important political event in post-independent India. So I had the notes prepared there. And bank nationalization, yes, this is very important. This could come in GS-1 as well, under post-independence, not in just economy part of GS-3. And modern era computerization. This is not, digital governance is not just scope of GS-2 or GS-3. This could also pop up in GS-1 under post-independence. Okay. How? They asked one question, right, this time. How we consolidate in polity, economy, society, and etc. Next time the question will be only from one part. This time they are asked in blanket. Okay. Where you could have simply escaped by writing 2 or 3 points under one head. But when it is very specific, you need to have some amount of content. And then about women organization and movements. And then era of coalition, which I chose not to do because UPSC has not come beyond 1960s. After Green Revolution, it has not asked any questions. So I chose, let me save some time. So that's it about notes making.
So everything is readily available to you. History is not going to change. You don't have to add anything. So if you're smart enough, you will take it up, finish it in 3 days, start writing tests.
Okay. So you should start writing right away. Whoever is aspiring to become civil servant, what is the first quality or criteria that is expected out of a civil servant? Leadership. So if you are afraid and if you are not willing to take that first step to begin the answer writing, do you think you will be able to lead the camp and take initiatives? Because you will be afraid. Anyways, you are not willing to take that first step. First error hogli anta, right? So take that first step and start writing. Because I did the mistake. This is my personal pain and experience that I'm trying to express in front of you guys. Because of lack of answer writing and inertia, I had to write 4 mains. Okay. And this time around also I scored in GS-1 less because of the same disease I had. I had that inertia and that inertia was very strong. Okay. So please start today. At least start writing 1 page, if not 2 pages, 1 page.
5 days.
You have notes ready, right?
Everything is
You will
ready.
get everything from some or other sources. All you are expected to do is how many themes you got in total. We listed out themes, right? 30 themes in entire paper, one theme, one day, right? So 30 days you should be up and running to write good answers.
This component max to max 5 to 6. Okay. After that, you're not going to come back to this. This alone is 20 marks. Technically, have been self. So this alone is 2 in 6 days can be done. Everything is readily available. Nothing that you have to keep on updating. Right? So society and social days. This another, but this is 100 marks in my paper. This is 80 marks, 70 marks. But I'm giving 4 days to than this. That's where the mistake lies. Okay, max 3 days. So in 12 days, more than one paper is getting over. And you've also started writing. To keep the same parameter, start writing from today. How many of you? All those who write also. Anybody has any questions? Do you have any?
So we'll take questions now if it.
Manoj sir,
if
you have
guys have.
anything to add on?
So you guys have any questions? Can raise hands. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಪ್ಪ ಕೇಳು.
ಎನ್ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಟಿ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ, ಎನ್ ಸಿ ಆರ್ ಟಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. ದೆನ್ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಂದ್ರಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಪ್ಪ. ಅದು ನಿನಗೆ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರೆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ ಈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಯು ಕುಡ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬರೀ ಹೌ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಬಂದರೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಫ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್, ಆಂಟಿಸಿಪೇಟರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನಲ್ಲಿ. ದ ಭಗತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಪಿಕ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಆ ಥರ ನೀವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಥರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಐ ಕೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆ್ಯಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಪಿ ನೋಡಿ.
Going by, sorry sir, going by the logic that you are saying, if tomorrow is the exam, then till today my syllabus will never be complete. That AI and GIS question, you saw that question, no? So you can never have enough notes. You won't have adequate notes. So that's something you have to be prepared. So whatever you have, the resources that are readily available, at least sir made these notes. I did not make notes. So I was also working, right? So I did not make notes. So my mentor's notes was there. He's gone to the interview multiple times. So his notes was like my Bible. So I used to use his notes and used to use these Madam Mehak Jain's notes. And I used to write answers from that only. I never made notes. So if you're smart enough, you will try to use the best notes that are at your disposal and move forward.
And approach ಅದೇ, like madam said, pick something which is good and you understand and you have comfort with it, because you will be getting hundreds of toppers notes. Don't pick based on popularity or based on this thing. You will understand which one is fit for you. Take that and keep it as base, and then you can add on things whichever is missing. Okay, follow this basic approach for everything. Any other question?
Almost every day try to indulge in at least 30 to 40 minutes of discussion with a peer or a group of 3-4 people, wherein you discuss and brainstorm the same topics. So when you're discussing that topic, now you have the liberty of time, so you can do this. So after this discussion, go back and write those answers.
And
Right.
you can make use of Uncle GPT. Okay. Any other questions, or should we consider it a wrap up? Guys, you need to ask questions because UPSC will reward only who are willing to understand their gaps and are willing to rectify. So how will you understand your gaps? By questioning your own self. So try to question yourself, you will find questions and then you can ask us. So that's up.
So like in this digital era where all the answers are available to you at your fingertips, the key differentiator is to ask the right question. I understand that all of you here are at different levels of preparation. Some of you have not yet given attempts, some of you have given attempts. Irrespective of how many attempts you've given, when everybody is going to write the mains, I mean whoever has cleared prelims and are going to write the mains, the next day you have to be writing the paper at that same time. If everybody is writing essay from 9 to 12, on that Friday, Saturday, you take that same question paper, write essay at home from 9 to 12. The next day, write GS paper from 9 to 12 and the paper 2 from
2 to 5.
2 to 5. You have to do this for yourself. This is the only investment you can put in yourself.
Why,
If you
madam,
are not
suggest-
ready to do that this year, then when you write mains, when you clear prelims and write mains, you will feel that you're not mains ready. So that should be your target.
Yes, what madam tried to point out was spot on. See, ನನ್ನ ತಲೆ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗು ಎತ್ತಿಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಲ್ಕೊತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಸಿಂಕ್, ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ವುಡಂಟ್ ಕಮ್. But in real exam, I was supposed to write ethics in the afternoon session, right? Where I'll be not at my best. So that's why you need to practice those papers in that particular schedule, those time slot.
And this
Your
is
brain
very
will-
common also because people would take chocolates and biscuits to the mains exam hall for a sugar rush because brain is not operating at that same efficiency for the afternoon paper. And trust me, if your GS-1 paper goes fine, all your GS papers
Yes,
will go
that will
well.
set the tone and the confidence. Yeah. So that's it. So thank you guys for being patient. And
In the afternoon, we're going to have a similar session for GS2, Quality, Governance and IR, in which me and Kiran sir will be taking. If you're interested, you can.
Hello everyone. Hope the session was very helpful. So especially to get insights for a same question from two toppers, it's very rare. And I have to genuinely thank Sandeep Anna as well as Chinmaiee for their wonderful session. I was observing. See, like yesterday also what I told is that don't come here for the content aspect. Come here for the thought process. What is this particular topper thinking about? For example, Sandeep Anna talked about anticipation of questions. It is called as probability mapping in mathematics. So you, based on the previous trends, you are assigning the probability for the questions that can come up next year. So understand that thought process. And also, how many of you read any newspaper, the Hindu or the Indian Express, any newspaper? How many of you read it? How many of you are half reading it because you are raising your hands off? How many of you read the newspaper, the Hindu or Indian Express? If you are not reading it, you should start reading it. See, like what happened was that, let's say I was reading the Hindu newspaper and I came across an Indian economist named as Sanjeev Sanyal. So I saw some article about Sanjeev Sanyal. I immediately went and Googled him. And I went through his books. And he has written a beautiful book named as Krantikari. So let's say the question was on revolutionaries, right? So can't you bring the book of Sanjeev Sanyal? In the book Sanjeev Sanyal, Krantikari, Sanjeev Sanyal highlights the importance and the contributions of the revolutionaries to Indian national movement. Can't you like that? So aren't you showing a different understanding and different thought process? So that is what is expected. So having that genuine curiosity becomes very important. To give another example, all of you know about the 2025 prelims. there was a question on the reduced fertility rate in Japan, Italy and all. So then what I did is that I tried to understand why the fertility rate is reducing in Japan. One of the reasons is the urbanization aspect, so and all other aspects. There I came across something called as Kodokoshi. So Kodokoshi is what? In Japanese, it is the lonely deaths. That is, in Japan, because of the divide of the family culture, the nuclear culture has increased. So the people are dying and their dead bodies are being discovered after months. That is, there is no one to even look at you, whether you are alive or not. So it is the symptom of urbanization, right? So we discussed the question on urbanization right now. And it is linked to suicide, right? Suicide. So, and why suicide? Like then, I am from public administration background. I was having a peer discussion with one of my friends who is having sociology background. So if you know Emil Durkheim, so sociology guys know it, Emil Durkheim, she talks about the suicide theory. So whenever there is a question on it, like am I linking one point to another point to another point? This is called as analysis. So this is what we should develop, having that genuine curiosity. So, and there was a question on referring topper notes. First of all, I want you to genuinely prepare your own notes based on your understanding. Then whatever the points that you are missing out, refer the topper notes for value addition. See, what happens is that whatever Sandeep Anna has prepared, it is his hard work of 3 to 4 years. Don't expect to understand it at the first glance. So first, try to sit down, study about the topic, make notes on your own. Then look at how Sandeep Anna has made notes, how Mehak Jain ma'am has made notes. Then add those points, if any extra points are there, to your notes. That is how we should make notes, because in the end, it is our thought process, it is our understanding. The toppers have made notes for themselves and they got good marks for that. That is what I am telling, don't expect spoon feeding. And another thing, today afternoon there are going to be GS2 classes, then tomorrow GS3, GS4 and essay, and after that we are going to conduct DRONA initiative also. So when you are coming for mentorship, please make sure you have watched these sessions. You have watched these sessions as well as the DRONA orientation session we took, where there was a beautiful conversation. And before that, we took a strategy session for Mains 2027. So give them a watch, because it saves our time also, it saves your time also. Don't come to mentorship asking, sir, how should I make notes? We have already discussed that in orientation session. Already discussed that in strategy session. So that is why please respect your time, please respect our time. And also, like now in the afternoon, GS2 sessions are going to be held. So tomorrow GS3, GS4 and essay. So they are going to be taken by Kiran Anna, Chinmaiee Akka, Sandeep Anna, Nivedita ma'am, everyone. So they are respective toppers in that respective GSS. Please do attend it. So I was really happy to see such a crowd. I really expect you to show up tomorrow also. So, yeah, and thanks again for Chinmaiee and Sandeep Anna. And also, like, how many of you attended the ethics classes yesterday? Yeah, so you can discuss with these guys about how the classes went, and you can also join the Mains with Magnus initiative. So just go through, like just first, in Mains with Magnus initiative, what I'm trying to do is that develop the thought process, not just give you the content, but develop what should be our thought process. Just like I explained the thought process here for society, for every GS, there is a separate thought process. How to develop that? We are trying to decode that together. So you can enroll for that as well. And also for anthropology students, you can enroll for Sandeep Anna's mentorship. He is all India rank, like he is top 2-3 in anthropology scores. 303 is something exceptional. So you can enroll for his mentorship also. And I genuinely thank you all for sitting for 2 hours and listening to the session. So thank you.
I'll just add some. See, I understand that these things don't come naturally to you, and even when you brainstorm or you discuss. So whenever there is a component, no, any topic, for example, urbanization only. Since we are stuck with that word, let's just explore that word. Think of it from all your GS angles. Politically, what are the implications? Economically, what are the implications? So socially, what are the implications? Science and tech, any interaction with science and tech. Smart city, somebody said, right? Science and tech. Then environmentally, what are the implications? Water scarcity, etc. Then geographically, where is it situated? Try to explore everything from those components. This is not known to you. You know everything. You just have to put it into perspective. Historically, go back to Harappan civilization. Then governance related. What are the governance initiatives that have been taken? Then ethics, ethical angle to this, right? So explore try to explore every component in this aspect. If not, try to explore it on another level, right? Individually, what is the impact of something? Societally, what is the impact? On a national level, what is the impact? Or what is the status? And globally, right? Try to analyze from this lens and try to brainstorm everything. From today onwards, you have to put on your thinking hat and you have to start thinking and analyzing from the lens of all these parameters, right?
So all the best, guys. Don't get overwhelmed because some of you are beginners. You need to keep faith in the process and go and revisit once you start to sit for studies again. You'll get more clarity because in this non-stop sessions, what happens? Lot of things you might have picked and some of things you might have missed. So if you are stopping it right here, you will not be able to make any good sense. So try and go and revisit and try to take crux out of it. Okay, that will help you a lot. All right. So all the best, guys. Thank you, and please show up for the afternoon session. Chinmaiee ma'am and Ken sir will be here to take out the answer writing strategy sessions for GS2, and tomorrow there will be GS3 and GS4 like Manoj mentioned. So thank you. Yeah, you can leave for the lunch. I can understand you are all hungry.